So hey, I'm Morgan Fry. I'm head of teen services at the Gum Spring Library, which is part of Loudoun County Public Libraries. And I'm gonna do for you today a book and craft pairing. So I'll talk to you about a book that I really like, and then we'll switch over and do a craft with my friend Lindsay. To start off, I'm talking about a manga. It's called The White Cat's Revenge, as plotted from the Dragon King's lap. So very, very long title. This is an isekai series, which means it's about somebody in our world who gets sucked into like a fantasy type game world, and then kind of goes from there. So if you ever read That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, or So I'm a Spider, So What, those are kind of the type of series that I'm talking about here. So, with White Cat's Revenge, this is the story of a friend who's not a very good friend. If you've ever had a friend who's more of a complication, who's just sort of there, that is what Ruri's friend Asahi is like. And Asahi is like cute, she's charming, everybody loves her, except for Ruri. And Ruri's like, I don't get it. Why does everybody like Asahi? So she keeps like causing... I'm going to pause again there. So Asahi keeps causing trouble for Ruri through her life, like it kind of makes people turn against Ruri. So Ruri is, a little bit soured on their friendship. So of course it's Asahi's fault that Ruri gets sucked away from their college life in Japan. It's Asahi's fault that they get stuck in the fantasy world without really knowing what's going on there. And it's also Asahi's fault that Ruri gets arrested and banished from the human kingdom within chapter 1. So end of chapter 1, you've got like Ruri all on her own out in the woods in this fantasy world with no idea what's going on. So this is where the story really starts to pick up. This is where Ruri finds an older woman in the woods who tells her about her own powers, which is the power to talk directly with fairies. And that might seem like, what kind of power is it to talk to fairies? In this case, in this world, it means everything. So she can ask the fairies to do pretty much whatever she wants. Except the fairies also really want to protect her, and they kind of take initiative on their own to punish people who slightly inconvenience Ruri. So if, somebody like says a bad word about her, the fairies will go, let's punish them. As she continues to develop her magic and communicate with the fairies, Ruri finds a bracelet that turns her into a fluffy white cat, and she uses that to sneak into the Dragon Kingdom, which is where the second part of the title, like plotting from the Dragon King's lap, like comes in. So this is a great series about complicated friendships, about the ethics of magic use, and about humor, about characters who are absolute idiots. So at LCPL, we have some print copies of this available if you wanted to put a hold on it through our catalog. But I'd also recommend, if you're like me and very impatient, that you can go to Comics Plus, which might show up on your phone as an app called Library Pass. And that will allow you access with your library card and your PIN number to access a limited number of manga and comics, just whenever you like. I use that a lot, and I use it to stay current with a lot of like manga series that maybe are a little bit like off the beaten path. I would definitely recommend it. It's completely free with your LCPL library card. All right, so now Lindsay Crouch from Sterling is going to be joining me to do a craft based on the art from this book. All right, so there are a few supplies that you'll need for this project. We're going to be making some window clings using puffy paint like this. You can use whatever color you'd like. You'll also need to have a clear plastic bag. I like to use Ziploc bag. If you would like glitter, I like sparkles, so we're gonna have some sparkles here. And then toothpicks, they're optional. I would really only recommend toothpicks for if you kind of get stuck as you're working along. You can also optionally have tape. I'm not gonna use tape for this one today to just show you kind of how it'll show up. All right, so the other thing that you're gonna need to think about with your artwork is it kind of a silhouette? because if we do something that's a little bit too complicated, then it's really hard to see like once the images are done, if you actually did a decent job or if it's just gonna all fall apart. So we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so Lindsay, let's go ahead. It looks like you have your bag in the right position, which is backwards. So let's have you go ahead and tuck our little artworks inside the bags. And the nice thing about this is that the bag is still reusable after you do this. So you can do it several times. You can still use the bag for holding other stuff later. The puffy paint will peel right off. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do now is go ahead and grab our puffy paints. I'm gonna take a purple and I'll leave the pink here if you wanted to use that. So there's two different ways that you can do this. One is you can go around the outside and make an outline using your puffy paint. Oh, messed up already. It's okay. That's what fingers are for. Oh, messed up again. It's okay. So the thicker your puffy paint is, the easier it'll be to peel at the end. So this is why we're not doing something super detailed. You can see here that the line got a little thin for the puffy paint, so I'm just gonna go back and fill that in a little bit. When it's a little thin, it has a chance of tearing. I love the little fart sounds it's making. All right, so I'm just doing an outline for this one. How's your puffy paint looking?
Pretty good, yeah, it's coming out well.
Nice. I'm gonna do little eyes. This character is Rin here. She's a Cleone, or Cleone, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, which is like a little sea slug, but she's also a fairy. And then...
Who's the cat?
The cat is actually the main character. So I'm gonna take the pink for the cat, I think. She's white in the series. So this is Rory here, who gets a bracelet that turns her into a cat. Lindsay, if you were a cat, what would you wanna do first?
Well, if I was one of my cats, I would want to lay on anything square that is on top of another square. What would you want to do?
I would run around like crazy. I have a kitten who is a crazy kitten.
I miss having kittens in the house.
Yeah, they're fun. All right. Did you?
I'm gonna do purple for the bow.
Nice. All right, if you need to shake out the puffy paint so that it comes towards the front of it, you can do that. You do not have to make them completely solid all the way through, but you can. So I filled in the head here. This is gonna make it come off in kind of one solid clump.
How long will these take to dry?
They'll take about 48 hours, especially since ours are really big and really thick. If you are a little impatient and want to get it done faster, you can stick it in the freezer, and that will help it to dry a little bit quicker. I'm gonna make this one Apache, like a cow cat.
Nice.
Yeah. And you can add glitter if you'd like. This pink one has some glitter in it already, but I don't ever see a problem with adding more glitter. So I'm going to add some glitter on top of another little spot. All right, and you can use whatever color glitter you like. I'm gonna be using this silver glitter here, which is one of my faves. It does get everywhere. I'm gonna use it really lightly on this one. You can kind of decide your fate in terms of how much glitter you would like. I spilled it all over my desk recently, so I'm going to be careful. So this is what it will look like once it's dried for a bit. This is actually, I think I've dried this one for about 3 days instead of 48 hours. But you can see here you have your little, or we have our little cat and our little Cleone here. So all you'll need to do is actually peel it off kind of like a Band-Aid. And then this will stick right to your window, either in your house or if you got like a locker, it'll stick to like a locker or something like that. Just any flat surface, you just kind of press it down and it'll stick again to that. The outline, I say be a little more careful with one of those because the as you're peeling it up, the edges are a little bit more tricky. Oh. Let's see if I can, there we go. The corners are usually the best places to peel up at, usually. And then with something like this, the little Cleone here, we would have to peel up her eyes separately and then add them once we put this onto like the window or wherever we decide to put it. I'm just gonna put it back here on her. Like that. But it's super easy, pretty fun. As long as you got puffy paint and a bag, you can do it. Glitter is optional unless you're me, in which case it's not optional. So yeah, that should be it. And that has our window clings.